Welcome. I'm Michael Bickert. Thanks for joining me today as we explore concepts with the objective of improving your management skills and growing your business. I want you to pause the video right now so that you can grab a notepad and a pen. I'll wait for you. We want you to jot down something, some kind of action item that you will implement in your business today. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, maybe you tune into this video and you watch and you think, oh, I'm doing all that, and that's great. But the video is really of value when you hear something or learn something that you're not doing, in which case you need to implement. You need to do that in your business. Implement it. That's what it's all about. All right. So I want to talk to you today about shopping yourself, or what we used to call mystery shopping. What is it that your customers experience when they try to engage your business in order to acquire your products or services? And the variety of businesses and types of entrepreneurs that are watching this will engage in different sort of sales processes and marketing channels. So whether you are in a passive e-commerce style of sales, or a brick and mortar location where your customers actually come in, or you take sales orders over the phone, whatever it is, you need to experience what your customers experience. This is all about that thing where we talk about inspecting your expectations. And it would be a mistake for you to assume that because you've well designed your processes for your customers and your sales channel, and you've well trained your people, that things are happening according to your expectations. That's where you have to mystery shop yourself. You have to check yourself. You have to do an internal audit, so to speak. So shop yourself. And if you can't do it yourself because of one thing or another, like maybe you would be recognized by your staff if you tried to send an email in, or if you tried to call in, or even go into your own place of business to engage in the sales process, it may not work. It may not be practical because you're recognized by the various operational frontline team members. Then you have to get someone to do that for you. And so maybe engage the services of a friend, or another stakeholder, somebody who's willing to go through the process for you and then give you feedback. And you can also reach out to us. By all means, contact my sales team and wealth management team. Go to bickertmanagement.com and contact us, and we can do this for you as well. If you're local, we can do it actually face-to-face, but we can certainly do it globally with anybody who is doing some kind of e-commerce transaction. And then we'll prepare a report for you. And so whether you engage the services of a company like mine, or a friend, or do this yourself, it's imperative that you do this. And you need to put this in your calendar and do this periodically and not on a regular schedule. I've done this before with my own businesses, and I've had team members sort of be able to predict when that was coming. And what you want is that people are engaging with your mystery shopper the same way they would with any other customer. They don't know, and they're not predicting, and they don't know it's a mystery shopper. So that way you will experience, your mystery shopper will experience exactly what your customers are experiencing. And you have to do this over time, periodically, so that you can gauge improvement. You have to measure and see what has happened. And then, if you experience, and you will, by the way, you will find that things that you expect are not happening. You're going to learn so much from this. But when you do, then you have to implement improvement. It may be training, it may be further clarifying for your team what's expected. You may find that there's some sort of logistical delays, IT problems, some of the automations you set up aren't working as expected. There's integration problems between you and your delivery channels. I'm not sure what it'll be, but you will find out that some things are not going as smoothly as you want. And so you have to do this periodically, which means you have to schedule this, but use some sort of random generator. And I've used random.org, and I've used other technologies to generate a reminder to me to go ahead and do the mystery shop at that moment. And then nobody knows when it's coming. It could happen 2 days in a row, it could happen the same day, it could happen quarterly, but on any given day. So first of all, you have to set this up to happen regularly. It has to be random, and you have to measure what's happening. And you have to do it with a frequency that gives you an adequate size of data. You want to make sure that when something is going wrong, it's not a one-off. It's not a situation in which, it was just bad luck that day or whatever. You will see these things over time if you do them enough. If you're just doing it here and there, and then it would be ludicrous to think that some of the inadequacies that you discovered were just going to go away because you trained your people and you told your people that was not satisfactory or whatever. Because the reason that'd be insanity is that in the first place it happened. You've already told your people what to expect and everything. And in Management 101, we recognize that people will fail to do what's expected of them eventually. And so insofar as you involve people in your process anywhere, and it's not completely computerized and automated, then you will have deficiencies that occur over time. That's why you have to do this. That's why you have to inspect your expectations, monitor, measure, go back, and involve one another. You can have a bit of fun with this with your team, and have some sort of incentives for being able to find deficiencies, and create a culture where people are not afraid of the boss discovering that something's wrong. There's an old story of Toyota hiring a plant manager who came from a competitive manufacturer. And he was so proud of his production numbers that when the Japanese executives came to visit his factory and he was showing them how much efficiency they had, how much productivity, and the numbers were great, they said, "Where are you hiding your flaws or your defects?" And he was puzzled by that comment and said, "Well, I don't understand." And they said, "Well, with the numbers that you're producing, we're not seeing any defects here. And we know through experience, we know that defects always occur. Therefore, you must be hiding them." And so that is an assumption you can make. And that's at the heart of what we're talking about today, is that there are defects in your processes. So, start from the beginning, what your customer will experience. Maybe someone goes onto your website and they try to click to add to cart, or they try to click to submit a web form, and see, where does that web form go? Does it go where it's expected? What is the turnaround time for people to respond to that form, to respond to you, the mystery shopper, the customer? And what happens? You can test different things. What happens if you take them down path A or B, and then place the order? Does your credit card billing system work correctly? Do you have customer portals? Whatever your system is, test everything and make sure that it's all happening. That's why you have to do this regularly. I think most of you watching are not doing this. And if you have a very small business and it's just you, then you're probably engaged with so many other things that stuff like this seems like a little bit out there to you, or a little bit beyond what you have the time for. But this is critical. You have to experience what your customers are experiencing to see whether or not that value is there, where those sticking points are in your process, where there may be frustrations, and where you may have customer attrition. You want to retain your customers. You want to make the customer experience as great as possible. Remember, that's part of adding value. You want everything to be very convenient. So look at these things and record that, monitor that, have some sort of mechanism through which you can measure the trajectory of your customer experience. How long does it take? We talked about response time, but what about from start to finish? How many clicks? Count the number of clicks that it takes to get through the whole process. Amazon's big on that, right? They want to have it down to where you can practically get something shipping to your house with the sound of your voice or one click. So monitor various things, look for performance analytics that you can monitor over time and see if you're going in the right direction. You have to keep improving. That's what perpetual refinement's all about. So I hope you took something down that you will implement today. Leave a comment. We're going to leave it at that today. I want to know what you think of this concept. Have you used this successfully? Reach out to us, bickertmanagement.com, if you want us to do this for you and prepare a report and make some recommendations to you for improvements. Do this on an ongoing basis. Let's learn from one another. Perpetual refinement.